So, hello everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I hope you're having a great day. Of course, I am here in Texas, Houston, to be exact, and we are supposed to be experiencing record-breaking, I guess, snowfall tonight and in the morning. So it's supposed to be, I guess, pretty brutal for Houston, I guess. So we're all kind of bracing for that, but I won't be before you long. I like to say the purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we're great people, but we can always strive to do better. Like I said, big giant thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. I won't be sharing the link today because I am by myself, but we will be back here tomorrow. When I say we, I mean Donovan and I. Of course, you guys know the inauguration was today, the inauguration of Donald Trump, who is the 47th president, was the 45th. Now he's the 47th, and all of that. I watched the whole thing. And so I found myself laughing, but again, I won't get too much into it today. We'll wait till tomorrow when Donovan is here. But I did take a copious amount of notes, if you will. And so all that is going to be going on today. Also, today is what they call Martin Luther King Jr. Day. It's not his birthday. It's actually the 15th, but today it's being celebrated. In addition to that, again, of the inauguration, which kind of seems like it was very contentious for a lot of reasons. But of course, we'll get into that as well. But today I want to spend some time talking about while those 92% were trolling Snoop, Biden, that is former President Joe Biden, left office without pardoning Marilyn Mosby. And of course, I will get into who she is. I'm sure a lot of you guys know who she is already, but if you don't, I will definitely get into that. So who is here before I get started? Before I get started, I want to play a video in homage to Martin Luther King. It's a short one, but it's going to be a short snippet from that of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So that's going to be in just a second. Extreme, how you doing? Says if Trump gets her pardon, you know what? I said the same thing. They're going to mess around. I don't know if Trump will, but wouldn't that be something if he did? Biden left and didn't pardon Marilyn Mosby. Belinda, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Beauty Land, what is going on? I'm going to tell you in just a second. And how you doing? And Brother Don, my triple OG moderator, how you doing? Dana, what's going on with you? Bobby Wright, how are you? Belinda says, I watch it too on my phone at work. Arneva, I hope you're doing well. Extreme X says, I know, right? So much for the backbone of Democratic Party. Ooh, you stole my talking points, but you know I'm going to get into it. Hey, Brother Clifford, Donovan, what is going on? Your petition will never, when I say never, it'll never work. But good luck. DJ Milk, how you doing? And Buckhorse, you are here early. All right, so let's get into it. For the sake of time. So again, as you guys know, it is MLK Day, where the country, and I guess maybe some parts of the world, celebrate that of Martin Luther King Jr., who was indeed a revolutionary, who, as many say, had a dream, but I think we've kind of turned it into a nightmare. Anyway, I digress. I want to play this video. It's a short one of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan speaking about Martin Luther King, and then we'll get on with the subject at hand. So here we go.
In Dr. King, because it is wrong for you to think that that man died because he had a dream. That man was a revolutionary thinker in the last days of his life. Now it's easy to put his picture up and talk that crap about how you love him. You a damn liar. If you loved him, why did you let the writers of history write him down as a dreamer and pacify you with all these streets and boulevards named after him?
Okay. So again, I'm going to remove this. And so basically, I just want to, kind of piggyback off of that before we get into it. Yes, there's a lot of people that's talking Martin Luther King Jr., but they're not walking it. And as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, we've allowed them to name streets and boulevards after him, and that was it, right? Like, we think that's really something. But he also said there that people often go with, oh, he had a dream. And of course, they go on with the same old talking points. But he says, well, Martin Luther King Jr. was a revolutionary. He basically, for, lack of better words, he wasn't no punk. That, history, and a lot of y'all, not y'all here, but them over there, have made him into, right? Now, of course, a lot recently, we heard a lot of dust up because Trump was inaugurated on MLK Day, again, not his birthday. Trump didn't have anything to do with that. It just so happens that MLK Day fell on Inauguration Day, right? So, of course, a lot of people said, I'm not going to watch. I'm going to go honor Martin Luther King. And when I see people saying that, I'm like, well, how? How are you going to honor him? You just going to say you did? Like, what are you doing? And when I say you, I mean me as well. What are we doing to actually show that we are putting boots to the ground and doing the things that he's doing? Because nowadays we hear about people boycotting stuff, like Snoop and them. They boycotting because they feelings got hurt because they exercised their democracy. But when Martin Luther King Jr. and them was boycotting, they was boycotting for real. They didn't have no too many, emotions and personal feelings. It was like, nah, we got to move the ball for our people, right? But nowadays, people loosely use Martin Luther King Jr., just so that, I don't know, maybe it's fashionable now. And especially a lot of people who look like us, we think all we have to do is invoke the name of Martin Luther King Jr. and all of a sudden we did something. You ain't do nothing. You ain't do nothing. All you did was bump your gums and your thumbs, but you ain't do nothing. So I agree with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Yeah, streets and boulevards and stuff like that is cool, but that's not what he was asking. He was asking, and in fact, when Martin Luther King Jr. died, right before he died, he was going to Washington to get our check. But a lot of y'all that use Martin Luther King Jr., y'all doing it to get some get back on people. Talking about, Martin Luther King Day. What about Martin Luther King Day? It's a day. You honor him on one day, but what about the rest of the year? So I'm going to leave it at that. Anyway, all right. So some of y'all are like, who is Marilyn Mosby? Of course, y'all saw her on the thumbnail. Well, Marilyn Mosby was a former state attorney for Baltimore, the city of Baltimore, rather. She gained national attention when she prosecuted the police officers that were involved in Freddie Gray's death. Of course, Freddie Gray was a young Black man who was put in the back of a van. Police officers were messing with him, and they drove around the city with him not seatbelted down, but handcuffed. And when they got him out of there, he had broken vertebrae and a whole host of other things, and he died from those injuries. Well, Marilyn Mosby was like, well, I'm going to go after you. Of course, they got off, for lack of better words. They never really were brought up on to trial, if I'm not mistaken. So nevertheless, we'll get back into that. Now in 2023-24, Marilyn was convicted of perjury, and basically she filed financial hardship during COVID-19, basically saying that she needed to draw out, which she did, $90,000 from her 401k. But the prosecutors are more or less like, well, you were still working. You're fully working, fully, drawing the paycheck. So you weren't having any hardship. And it sounded like, as the state attorney, she was making quite a bit of money. Now, she also got convicted on mortgage fraud, making false statements on mortgage application to purchase 2 Florida homes, or I think they were kind of like rental properties, if I'm not mistaken. Now, she also misrepresented a $5,000 gift that she got from her husband in order to get a lower interest rate. Okay. Now, in May 2024, she was sentenced to 12 months home confinement and 100 hours of community service, and sentenced to supervised release. So basically probation, right? Where she has to check in and all that. Now, of course, many people feel like that happened to Marilyn. Basically, it was some get back, right? It was get back for what she was trying to do with the officers in the Freddie Gray incident. She tried to hold them accountable, and many didn't like that. So they felt like that's why the state, I guess, whoever it was, went after her. Sounds like it was the DOJ or somebody. Don't quote me. But nevertheless, it also sounds like she was the first person in history for that particular thing to happen to. So again, people feel like it was some get back. Now, in all fairness, there were a lot of people who were asking for Biden to, hey, pardon Marilyn Mosby, right? Because he pardoned a whole lot of other people. And in fact, they said he pardoned about 1,500 people that were on home confinement, due to COVID and all that other stuff. So they're like, hey, what about Marilyn? Come on. And of course, today he left and he did not do that. So yeah, there was some, like I would, say Angela Rye and, her crew and things like that. They were vehemently trying to get the attention of the president to get her pardon, and he didn't do that. Now, of course, a pardon is basically a forgiveness for crime. It depends on what type of pardon it is. But in her case, they wanted her to get a total pardon. So having her free of any consequences. So basically not being home confined anymore, not being on probation, any of that other stuff, but and getting rid of the felony, right? Because she had a lot of things taken from her. So that didn't happen. But my problem is this. My problem is 92%, and y'all know who I'm talking about. For those of y'all who are like, who's the 92%? That's Black women who run around here with their faces all screwed up because Kamala Harris did not win the presidency, right? That's what they've called themselves, the 92%, the backbone of the Democratic Party. You ran around the internet for 4 days. For 4 days, trolling Snoop, Nelly, Soldier Boy, and Rick Ross. And some lady came on here and said Ross. I'm like, nah, lady, we ain't talking about Ross dressed for less. We ain't talking about Snoopy from the Peanuts. You know what I'm saying? We ain't talking about Nelly from what's that show back in the day? The Prairie Show, whatever. We ain't talking about them, okay? But y'all ran around there, Little House on the Prairie. Y'all ran around trolling them while your homegirl was waiting for Biden to pardon her. Now, I'm going to say this, okay? See, I ain't fake. I've made a few videos saying that I believe that Marilyn Mosby got a raw deal. I believe they targeted Marilyn Mosby. Y'all can go check my resume. Look at the African Diaspora News channel. I made a video or two. I believe that they did that to her. And I believe that she should have gotten a pardon. But as I said, you 92%ers, you faking and you fronting and you messing with Snoop, but yet your homegirl is still locked down in her house. I mean, I guess she could have went to prison, right? But she didn't. But she locked down in her house, and Biden got on the little helicopter, right? The Marine little helicopter, and then got on Air Force One, and he flew off to California, go to vacation. Kamala, Angela Wright talking about that's her homegirl. She used her whole government name when she talking about her, Kamala Davi Harris. We're not going to blame Kamala. Kamala didn't have no pull with Biden. Hey, Biden, you let it, and he just pardoned Dr. Fauci today. He pardoned a whole bunch of his, family members, his brothers, all kind of stuff, right? And Kamala didn't have no pull. Say, hey, come on, man. Do this solid for me. Do this solid for the 92% that showed up and they showed out. They were strolling to the polls and, all this stuff. Do a solid for me. Come on, pardon my homegirl, Marilyn. He didn't do it. He pardoned he pardoned them judges that was at the cash for kids for cash scheme that was selling those kids up the river to like prison and stuff. He pardoned them, a whole host of people, but not Marilyn Mosby, who indeed I don't think she did anything wrong, right? She got the wrong money. It wasn't like she stole the money. I mean, come on now. I ain't never did it, but I know that ain't nothing new. Many people get a little money here and there and say, okay, here, bet I need to put a down payment, right? But they went after her. In fact, I think they was looking at trying to give her 10 years or so for that, or longer. I think maybe like 30 years they was trying to give her for that. Again, I believe it was retribution for her going after the police officers in the Freddie Gray case. But right there. So two things. 92%, you a phony and you a fraud. You don't care about Black women because while that Black woman was waiting for y'all to, boots on the ground, y'all was going after Snoop. The other thing is, guess you ain't the backbone of the Democratic Party after all, huh? I guess Kamala and Biden really don't love you like you think you did. And for what I understand, they mad at Ketanji Brown Jackson. From what my daughter was telling me, they're mad because Ketanji Brown Jackson, she went along with the TikTok ban. Y'all know it was unanimous, right? So she too said that it needed to be banned. Now, a lot of the people on TikTok are like, wait a minute, homegirl. It was because of us, talking about you and Ketanji Brown Jackson, all this other stuff that, you probably got confirmed. And then you're going to go against it? So what? The 92%, I'm not talking about the 8% of the brothers, that's another day. But what it showed you is that, oh, you just like the rest of us. They don't care about you either. They couldn't do you that one favor. Y'all remember 4 years ago when Biden became the president-elect? And he says, Black Americans, y'all stood by me. I'm gonna stand by y'all. They said so many wonderful things about black women and all this other stuff, and y'all proudly ran around with that moniker, the backbone of the Democratic Party, and all you got was a kick in the tailbone. Kamala is gonna go off with Dougie Doug into the sunset somewhere. She's gonna write a book, and you guys won't hold her feet to the fire. And by the way, Obama showed up to the inauguration by himself. That I ain't gonna get into that because I know some of y'all feel a certain type of way about it. Nevertheless, Michelle didn't show up. And yes, they did boo Obama. They booed Clinton and they booed Pence too. Because I saw people saying, "Oh, they booed Obama. They booed people they didn't like." I'm not saying it's right, but that's just what happened. But yeah, back to the 92%. So when are y'all gonna actually do something that matters instead of trolling people who are using their right to do what the hell they want to do? Snoop, Nelly, and none of them are beholden to you. So again, as you was acting a donkey on the internet with people you'll never meet, your homegirl Marilyn Mosby is still on lockdown and you have no power. The end. So I'm gonna get to these comments. Okay. Who else came on here while I was talking? Okay, here we go. Here we go. Brother Reggie, how you doing? You up, huh? Alexander, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Thank you for being new to my channel. Blanca, how you doing? Where have you been? He says, did Biden pardon Fonnie Willis? Nah, I think he gonna let them have her. Biden was like, oh yeah, I got a beach somewhere in California I'm trying to go to. Beatty Land says the MLK, that it said the guy who made it possible for us to be here. Yeah, definitely give MLK some credit, but I'm just saying, everybody just kind of speaking his name, but they're not doing the work, just bumping their gums. I don't know. Brother Abdul, how you doing? Says Dr. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Elijah Muhammad were brothers, loved each other. They had just a different strategy. Yes, in a longer version of that video with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he talked about how Martin Luther King did meet with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and he had an awakening. Right? It's not a secret that they met, but he did talk about that, and that again, how Martin Luther King was a revolutionary, but people are painting him as some dreamer. Like he was just aloof. Oh, I have a dream. No, he wanted to get some stuff done, Donovan says, we got the MLK Jr. here. You stupid. MLK Jr. here in California Assembly named Corey Jackson. Yeah, they call him a little Martin Luther King Jr. of the legislator in California. He little, but it ain't that. Hey, Miss Sweets, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Abdul says, don't start talking about Martin Luther King was passive when you still passive. I agree with you. Hey, Average Logical Thinker, how you doing? Yep, symbolism. You said it. DJ Milky says, we need to stop all this. I totally agree. Terry Phillips, how you doing? Says, what about the reparation Dr. King spoke about? That's about his birthday, I think he meant. Yeah, I mean, so this talk, but then nobody ever talks about that, really. Not even, the Negro leadership that's running around and cosplaying today. A lot of them talking about, oh, I'm not going to the Trump inauguration. I'm going to honor King. No, you ain't never honor King, and you ain't going to do it today. You're just doing it to stick it to Trump, and don't lie to kick it. Okay. But I watched it. That's just what I do. I have to watch to see what, what's going on in the world. But and let's see here. Khalil, how you doing? He says, damn. Yes, Terry. So you remember Marilyn Mosby? Yeah, she's on lockdown now, in her own home, which is good, I guess. JJ Mars, how you doing? Says the rest of the year they too busy partying with cheap liquor. You crazy. Cynthia, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Buckhorse says speed breaks and wild turns and handcuffed in the paddy wagon. Yep, that's what they were doing to him. But they got off, right? And it wasn't just white officers; it was black officers. It was a bunch of them that did that, and she tried to hold them accountable. But look at her now. Yep, JJ, he did pardon his crooked family members. So they say, right? Miss Weese says, free Marilyn Mosby, nonviolent crime. It sounds like it was a setup. I totally agree with you. Timex Love, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Tony Barnes, what's going on with you? Says, oh, yes, she's on. Let's go. Yes. Frederick, how are you? Says, free Jamil. Yes, indeed. Free him now. But there's a lot of Black Panthers that are sitting there that could have got a pardon. And 92% don't care about that. They only care about Snoop, who is Shantae's man, aka Boss Lady's man, doing what they say do. Otherwise, they're gonna troll him. Talking about I'm not gonna support him. It's like to ask that one lady, when was the last time you bought something from Snoop? So what, you gonna stop doing more of nothing? I mean, tell it like it is. How you doing? Says he pardoned his degenerate son. Yep, he did that a while ago. And Cynthia says, I remember reading about her story. Yeah. Alexandria says, I currently have mixed feelings regarding MLK. Okay, a lot of people do, but that's fair. Abdullah says, what about Asada Shakur? Yep. She didn't do what your government said. Well, that's your government. Says she did. They set her up. I totally agree with you. Totally. She's still over there in Cuba right now, and they want her. They still want her. I shall, Cynthia. And Miss Sweet says 92% of the Democratic Party black women. Yeah. Yeah, Brother Reggie, you know they call. I'm not gonna support Ross. We ain't talking about Ross dressed for less. Frederick says, Alex. Okay, so you talking to somebody else. And Elevate, how you doing? He says, right, free Marilyn Mosby. I totally agree. Hey, Bob Smith says Snoop trolled himself. No, how? How did Snoop troll himself? He went and did what was best for him, and people are mad. I don't understand that. The people that are mad at Snoop, I impress upon them to tell me when is the last time you went to your city council meeting and got that mad at your city council members for not doing something you voted in to do. When is the last time you went to your city council or tried to talk to your mayor and say, hey, mayor, I don't like what's going on? Or the last time you went to your city planning committee meeting and said, oh, you're going to build another liquor store in our neighborhood? I don't think so. When was the last time you did that? I bet you trolled, not maybe you, but trolled Snoop and Nelly before you've done any of that. It's silly. It really is. But who am I? Cynthia says, Dimitri, we should contact Boss Lady. It says on her story. Okay. Are you talking about contact Marilyn? I mean, Shantae, Snoop's wife on Marilyn Mosby story? Got you. Brother Reggie says he pardoned Fauci. Yep, he sure did. Because he knew Trump and it was probably going to go after him. And of course, if you guys heard the inauguration, he said, especially for the military that got let go, fired, or whatever it is, due to not taking the vaccine, he says, you guys are going to be reinstated and you're going to get back pay. Sure wish I was in the military right about now. JJ says Angela Rye is a clown. Yeah, she tried to get her homegirl free, but I guess her and Kamala weren't really friends like that. Hey, Lisa, how you doing? Long time no see. Corey, what is going on with you? All right, let me skip down because I know I'm a little bit behind. Arnibus says, pardoning those judges show how wicked Biden really is. Yeah, but they not trolling his social media, but they trolling Snoop, who don't have no power. Biden don't have no power now, but he did, 5-6 hours ago he did. I don't know. Brother Reggie said, did Katanji now, does she know what a woman is? Well, you know what, I'm going to tell you this much. One of the things Trump said is on the federal level, we're only recognizing 2 genders. So I'm pretty sure by now she going to know what a woman is. I was like, damn. Tito, how you doing? He says, damn. Yes, indeed. All right, so let's see. Frederick says, no pardon for Jamil Amin, who was certainly innocent of killing that Fulton County deputy. In fact, the man that did it has confessed to killing numerous times. Yeah, and there was a whole lot of other people was like, yeah, it wasn't him. It wasn't him, somebody else. Just a lot of evidence saying he didn't do it, but they don't care. Oh, thank you, Freddie B. I appreciate you. Jacobs, descendant, how you doing? Says Jackson is married to her white Jesus, so she'll never say anything against Massa. Yeah. Okay, so it's almost 7 a.m. now, Brother Reggie. He says you got to walk this dog soon. I heard that. All right. Taylor is India. How you doing? Todd, Brother Todd, how you doing? Says, I'm so glad Biden is gone along with Kamala Harris. You said, what? You said, who the copy look alike? Oh, she discussed me. Good riddance. Yeah, she gone. They were all pretty cordial as Trump was, kind of kick him in the backside a little bit. I was like, damn, I probably would have just got up. Larry, how you doing? He says, MLK died for nothing. Look at Black American people today and look at all the Black leaders like the Black Caucus stealing from Black American people. Yeah, but a lot of the Black Caucus said, I'm not going to Trump's inauguration. I'm going to honor MLK. But like you said, how? MLK wanted you to give his people a check. And y'all, the Black Caucus ain't mentioned nothing about no check. He got Cory Booker and Ayanna Pressley now they're trying to talk about HR 40, but like ain't nobody listening to y'all. Go on somewhere, you know. Counterproof, how you doing? B girl, what's going on? She says, how long does it take to do your hair? It took 5 minutes today. I had it twisted up and I just poofed it out and I put a headband on. I was like, as best as gonna get today. DJ Milky said Jeremiah 4:22 to 24. The Lord says, my people are stupid, they don't know me. Hey OG, Jesse, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. TG Hamilton, what's going on with you? Says, can we get a pardon from Mamiya? Yes, and Leonard Peltier too. Mamiya has been in jail 42 years and Peltier for almost 50 years. Not, I think they should, but apparently no administration thinks that they should. I mean, they're well into their 80s now, late 70s, 80s. What could they really do now? You know what I mean? It's crazy. H-Rap Brown, you know, as I just said, you know, he has a big old giant growth on the side of his face. He needs to be out. So there you have it. Brother Todd said, as for Snoop, that's what y'all get for trusting somebody who smoked that much damn weed. I mean, you know, and that's all what people get for putting him on a pedestal. Like I said, I don't put Snoop on a pedestal. I listen to his music, like some of the stuff he does, but that's it. He's not, I don't worship Snoop, you know, which is why I'm confused as to why people are mad at Snoop. It's his right to do what he wants to do. You know, he doesn't tell you what to do. But here we are. Misty Blue, how you doing? Long time no see. Says, yeah, he pardoned all those he wanted to, which were all AKA white people. Yeah, he pardoned some black people. Terry Flannery was one of them. I think Meech, Big Meech, he got pardoned as well. Terry Flannery, which is BMF, right? He was out under the COVID Act, but then he got a complete pardon. So he's no longer under house arrest. Let's see who else is on here. Sherry, how you doing? It says, look what happened when Mary J. Blige. You said, oops, my thing skipped up. I hate when it does that. Hold on 1 second. Where did it go? Okay, look what happened when Mary J. Blige listened to our people and didn't do that Taco Bell that Taco Bell commercial. She missed that a lot, out on a lot of money, and then after that, a lot more black singers and actresses started doing it. You talking about that? It was Burger King. I think she did do a Burger King commercial. Crispy chicken and lettuce. And let me stop. Misty Blue said, Snoop doing more than Magic Johnson. Yeah, Snoop does a lot of stuff. He ain't just smoking weed, right? He's smoking a lot of weed, but he's also doing stuff for the community. So can't knock him too much. Brother Reggie says, I hope Trump sues AOC for defamation for calling him a like he did to ABC and George Snuffleupagus. You messed me up. Stop a novel again. Damn, I can't even say the man's name right. But yeah, he is suing him for saying that. But of course, he says, I like a Snoop channel. My man be tripping. Yeah, he has a YouTube as well. And Miss Sweet says, speak on it, Dimitri. He says, why isn't this outrage aimed at our local politicians and government officials vote for or against policies and procedures? Yeah, I'm just asking questions, you know. Misty says, so did he pardon the demon Fauci? He did. Yes, he did pardon him today. Valerie, how you doing? Says RCBC does more symbolic madness than does nothing for FBA. Still not supporting us. All these alive black people that need a pardon, right? You know, and good. You know, they pardoned Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Yes, posthumously. He got that pardon, but he's been dead probably almost 100 years. You know, in about 10 years or so. Nice, but there's a lot of people who were breathing, you know, that could use a pardon. Insane. All right, so let's see. Candy, he says Biden had over power for 50 years and did nothing. Make sure I didn't skip. Al, he says black people are smoking weed because of Snoop and they are mad. Yeah, well, they ain't smoking weed because of Snoop. They smoking weed because of themselves. The Snoop ain't, unless I missed something. Did he go to somebody and say, I smoke it? He didn't make you smoke weed. You smoke weed because you want to smoke weed. I mean, I'm not saying you, but I'm saying people are that impressionable. I mean, but hopefully he doesn't tell you to jump off a cliff no time soon. You know? Miss Sweet, she says, when Snoop Dogg was at his Hollywood star celebration, he thanked himself. So I'm not surprised and sure he doesn't care about the backlash. You know what? That's one of my favorite speeches, believe it or not. He didn't, not thank God, but he says, I want to thank me. I want to thank me for getting me up. I want to thank me, for hustling and all that other stuff. I loved it. You know what I mean? Again, he did not thank God, but it's like, now I want to give some thanks to myself. Because I think a lot of times too, we don't thank ourselves. God says here, this is I'm gifting these things to you. Now go do it. So basically, he's saying, God gave me these gifts and I went out there and did it. But a lot of people don't. A lot of people gonna go to the graveyard with their gifts and talents, but Snoop was like, I want to thank me for not doing that. Donovan says, has anyone seen the slave patrols? Yeah, I got all the locks and stuff on my door because I did hear from a lot of Democrats that once Trump got into office, we was about to be back on the plantation. And I'm not the picking cotton type of gal, you know what I mean? So y'all keep your head on swivel out there. Gloria, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Yes, happy MLK Day to you as well. Cynthia says, yes, contact boss lady on Miss Mosby's story to see if she'll make some noise. It's a good idea. They messing with her too. They calling her sellouts and all kind of stuff. It's like, y'all messing with boss lady? Y'all a sorry bunch of people. Just sorry. Like I said, you ain't been to your city council meeting with all that rah-rah, but there you are on social media doing the absolute, just the donkeyest stuff you can think of. Sherry, he says, can you remember when our people told Mary J. Blige to not do the Taco Bell commercial? Then after that, the other celebrities started doing commercials. I don't remember the Taco Bell, but I sure remember when she did that Burger King one. Hey, Sister Shirley, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Rodney, how are you? Says, how do you think his mass deportation will roll out? Also, Harris was dressed like Luke Sky. He's stupid. Luke Skywalker from the Return of the Jedi. Well, it was cold. It was really cold out there. They were inside, but they had to go outside to stand on the, guess wait for their rides to take them out of there. But he crazy. See, if that had I been Kamala, I'd have came with my most the dopest pantsuit I had on. I'd have had me a hat like Melania, and I would have tilted it to the side, and I'd have showed up. I wouldn't have showed up looking like that, but that's just me. Maybe Kamala's just over it. And during the inauguration, a lot of them, they was trying to hold their expressions because Trump was wild, and I think they all did a good job of holding their expressions in. Larry says we need to file a lawsuit against the Black Caucus for misuse of funds for the Black community, or we could just vote them out. I'd rather do that, vote them out. Suing the government is kind of like, yeah, good luck, but vote them out. We have the power to do that, Miss Sweet says, are there any civil rights leaders pardoned by former President Biden? Well, I guess I don't know if you want to call Marcus Garvey a civil rights leader. I don't know if it was technically that. He was more or less like up you mighty nation, accomplish what you will. Civil rights, I don't even think was a real conversation then like that. But he pardoned him. But of course, we know Marcus Garvey is no longer here. Like he's an ancestor now. Missy Blue says all the Black Panthers need to be pardoned for real. Totally agree with you. Totally. But guess Biden didn't see it that way. Tell it like it is. It says, yeah, because the Black Caucus is riddled with tether that don't identify with our struggle. We are the only country that allows people from other countries to get in our government. Yeah, we ain't the only country, but yeah, we're one of them, Yeah, the problem with that is they get in our government and they don't legislate for us. They legislate for them, but they don't do it for us. And then we don't know, right? We don't know where they're from per se. So we think, oh, because they're Black, they're gonna, anybody Black is better than anybody else. And then we find out that's not necessarily the case, right? Black Beauty always. How you doing? Seth, what's going on with you? Bernard, what's going on? So stop looking at idols and worship God. You ain't got to tell me twice. Ain't none of them my idols at all. I mean, I think we should be able to like their music and their art without worshiping them, right? It's kind of crazy. So you'll get no arguments out of me. Yanni, how you doing? Long time no see. And Cynthia says Martha Stewart still has Snoop Dogg back regardless. Yeah, that's his homie for real. Like they're friends for real. It's not even like for show or nothing like that. I saw one time she says, yes, Snoop and all of his friends, they just show up sometimes. They just show up and says we're in the neighborhood, and she'll cook them something to eat or whatever the case is and all. But they really friends. Blocker, he says Biden also didn't pardon New York attorney, right? General, New York Attorney General, rather, Letitia James or Alvin Braggs. Yeah, he might have needed to do that. Now they have to fend for themselves. They crashed out for nothing. Yeah, I mean, they were talking about Dr. Fauci like they were them, and Dr. Fauci got a pardon. I think they knew they was going after Dr. Fauci, but yeah, he left the other ones out to dry. Misty says Mary was trying to get those checks to pay Kendall. You ain't lying. She was singing about that crispy chicken wrap at at Burger King. What's in the new chicken wrap? I love Mary. Donovan says, anyone else see cops shooting black men in the back according to Jennifer Lewis? Yeah. Jennifer Lewis, boy, she's a character. She really is. Yeah, she. Andrea says, integration was the worst thing to happen to us. You ain't lying. You are absolutely right. Taylor, he says, I love that too. Brother Reggie says, I smoked weed long before Snoop debuted. Okay, back to the show. Right. Did Christ really come already? How you doing? Say facts. 48 TCO, what's going on with you? He says, hey family, I'm late, but preparing to yes for the snow here in Houston. What Snoop Doberman pincher look? You stupid. He know he looked like a Doberman pincher. He know that. He DJ'd at the crypto ball in Trump's honor, and Trump wasn't there, and they've been mad ever since. Miss Sweet says that's one of my favorite speeches too by Snoop. Thank myself for not giving up daily. Yeah. Brother Reggie says, if somebody tell it says Joyless Reed to put her Trump wig back Trump wig back on that bald head. Y'all better be nice. Extreme X, she says, once this deportation thing starts rolling, watch you hear the black and brown coalition BS. Yeah, we ain't falling for it. Nah. BA Quinn, how you doing? Says it's funny how Trump became racist after he became president. The first time he was on every hip hop record in the late 90s and 2000s. You ain't lying. You telling the truth. Carlton, if I didn't already, how you doing? Says, they are not paying out insurance in California. Yeah, I heard the governor put a moratorium and banned companies from, canceling people's policies. So how true that is, I don't know. How much effect will it have? We'll see, right? But also heard that they expect those people to pay their property taxes and their mortgage as well. It's like on what? Dust, ashes. Come on. Well, hopefully they'll have a little bit of time, I guess, BA says vote them out plus a sue they ass. So you want to do both. Brother Reggie says, I bet you Kamami had a half pint of anti-freeze. You stupid. Anti-freeze, quote unquote, in her front right pocket. Shoot, it was cold out there. Hey, Frank, how you doing? Mrs. White, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Yanni says Snoop ain't been right since Martha Stewart got out of jail, but you know who I hope doesn't pop back up? He said Muppet face Roger Stone. Oh, he around. Trust me, he's around. Larry says I was talking about filing a claim to challenging the hate crime bill that they gave everyone else to make them give us one or take back the hate crime bill from the gays and Chinese people. Yeah, they probably not gonna do that. And we're probably not gonna get a hate crime bill no time soon. Just in case you didn't know. But there's other things that we can be doing as a community, and that's organizing, unifying, stop all this nonsense, and it's divisiveness, and figure out what it is we need to do. Because one thing about the Trump presidency is it's supposed to make the Black community great again, because we realize, okay, the Democrats never had our back, Republicans never had our back. Now we need to have our own back, right? We're gonna get reparations. Don't worry about that. But there's things we need to do. Right now we got a whole slew of a trough of Black women going after rappers that they probably never listened to. You know what I mean? They boycotting Snoop Dogg, but there's a whole lot of people they letting make it, which is it's insane. All right, let's see here. Tyrone, how you doing? Says, did you hear what the reporter in Chicago asked Brandon Johnson? I heard a few things, but what specifically? D. Anderson L, how you doing? Says Trump should have invited Alexander rather, who's saying, let's go Brandon, and Trump won again. He crazy. He had a few singers there. Cindy says, y'all's clowning. Sherry says, we got. He says, have never been no black and brown coalition and never will. Says they're on their own. They stepped on the wrong people's toes when they started thinking they were white or better than the white man. That's what they get. Yeah, that's not a thing. Black and brown coalition. Larry says we need to change this hate crime bill everyone else got, and we could either get one or get their hate crime reversed. That ain't gonna happen either. Teresa Collins, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. He says it's a little crazy to make demands of any politician to do anything after their term is over. All these people talking about what Biden didn't do and what this one didn't do. Where was all this heat when they were yet in office today? I don't care about none of them today or any day. Let's get our demands for this administration. I mean, I agree with you. I'm just saying Biden pardoned a whole lot of people. A whole lot of people that probably really wasn't even all asking like that. But Marilyn Mosby couldn't get one who nonviolent or anything like that. She used her own money. It's not like she stole the money. It was her own money from her 401k. So that's why people were asking, yeah, but this morning, Biden was pardoning people and he was leaving office, hours after that. So, I don't know. He didn't see fit to do that. And again, as I said, the 92%, you ain't got no pool. You need to find a new name, like sugarless Kool-Aid or something like that, because you really ain't got no juice like that. Terry says, and that's who we are. What we all want, a border czar. Yeah, you think people should just be coming over here however they want, doing whatever they want? Some people over here wilding, Aeon, I hope I said that right, Ma. How you doing? He says he's been racist. Rappers just want to look like they got money. Can I tell y'all something? Most of them, all of them, are racist to some degree. You know what I mean? But Trump wasn't as racist until he ran for president. And when I say as racist, the media and everybody else made him out to be as racist. But they all were hanging out with Trump. They all want to be wrapped up in the Trump towers until he ran for president. So Miss Sweet says, so wait, the homes that were burned during the Cali wildfire still have to pay property tax and mortgages? Oh, yeah. And from what I understand, they finna get round 2 tomorrow. So prayers out to them. Ernest, how you doing? Says all the people who say they came here on boats should be careful because they are considered stolen property and probably could be deported. Does that include my ancestors? As long as you send us back with a check, I'm all right. Raven, how you doing? He says a lot of black people and rappers are really ridiculed and wanted to cancel MC Hammer because they considered him corny for his doll and being on TV. But now other rappers are reaping the same benefits now. Yeah, MC Hammer is one of the first ones to do sell his music, his tapes. How do you call it? He distributed it on his own without a major record deal at first, right? Terry says, and that's who we are. We want to be we want a border star. Get the illegals out. Got you. Carter says, I am myself, defend myself from my own people. My things, from my own people. So the hate crime bill is irrelevant. Yeah, they're not going to do that. Donovan says, Trump is going to enrich his rich friends. He is a lame duck president and cannot run again. So if we get anything, great. Right. Yeah, he gonna do it to it. Right. But you know what? As I say this, Democrats, 92%. If you really cared, you would have put up a better candidate instead of running around having concerts talking about let's be clear and the nonsense. If y'all really cared and did not want Trump back in office, all you had to do was act like you had some sense, but you tried to sell people on joy and vibes and concerts, Megan shaking her booty and nonsense. Right? It was cute for a second. But after that, people was like, yeah, I'm still going to the store and groceries is high. Now, will Trump get them down? I don't know. But, there's still people coming over here, over this border, getting all that there is to get, while everybody else, especially black people, are being told no. And the Democrats kept doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on the nonsense, running around talking about getting rid of babies. And all the other stuff is just like, all right, what else? So if y'all want to be mad at somebody, be mad at them. They didn't give people much to vote for. Renz, how you doing? Says Blessing Demetri. Did you see the story where these cops pulled the brother over wrongly and caused because of the wrong license plate number, and the one black cop threatened? Yes, I saw it. I sure did, and he went off. He was like, and especially you. I forget what he called him. His name, but he talked to the black cop that said he was going to shoot his head off. He said, especially you. I say, how you doing? You say, it's crazy how black people forget about the meeting that Biden had last year that got leaked. Yes. Says Harris blatantly said she's not going to do anything for black people. So are you surprised by their actions? No, I'm not. And you talk about when he was president-elect, right? When he got elected and he had that meeting with all Al Sharpton and all them. And he basically said, listen, when we're done here, get back in the field and pick my cotton. Make room for the Hispanics because they coming in the house. That was kind of a summary of what was said. Miss Sweet says, facts, how did she steal her own funds out the 401k? That has to be paid back with interest. Right. But they did it. Donovan says, it's mighty quiet over here in Marino, Mexico. Yeah, they probably like Trump is signing them executive orders and stuff. We better be packing up, okay? Let's go. All right, so let's see who else came on here. Valerie says, and they trying to buy their land in California for dirt cheap. Please know your land is very valuable. Yeah, they also put a moratorium on that and said, if you guys, whoever you are, land developers, real estate developers, you come over here doing that, you're going to get fined and jailed. So don't bother these people about their land. Because, of course, they're doing that, right? 48 TCO just said, did you see Doug clapping at the inauguration bill? Look like a damn fool. Yeah, they saw Kamala clap once, I think, when he says this all. When they said something about Israel, they all stood up and clapped. Aeon, he says, so he's talking to Larry. And Valerie says, Democrats have used the FBA vote to benefit everyone except FBA, and our ancestors fought for those rights. You better believe it. Ernest says, the Democrats thought we were dumbed down enough to go for the celebrity BS. Yeah, because in the past it's worked, right? But this time not so much. It's like, okay, you bring Megan out to twerk. It's like, or it worked with the last elections cycle when it had no voting, no vucking. You saw Santana and Trina, basically saying if your man don't vote, then don't. I'm saying with the V, vuck, don't do that. If he doesn't vote. Sherry says, I just want to know true reason why they opened up the border. These people says have gotten things that we could never get a dream of getting: homes, businesses, good jobs. He says, I just want to know why they opened up the border. What was the true reason? Well, a lot of people say they think it was to replace people. This labor market, they need people up in there. And not too long ago, things like last week, sometime they were on the Capitol Hill talking about minimum wage. And Bernie Sanders, I think it was Bernie Sanders, was like, yeah, we need to raise it. And a lot of them were like, no, it's good. $7.25 is good. So they know a lot of people aren't doing that, which is, in my opinion, why they were trying to shut down TikTok. Because they got kids on there making more money than their parents made, And so they're like, yeah, those are the people who will usually be at Taco Bell for the $7.25 an hour jobs and stuff. So it's a lot going on there. Star Child says, also trying to sell us an Indian woman as a black woman. Yeah, that didn't go over too well. 92%. But again, Kamala is supposed to be a black woman. She left black women hanging. She sat there with Trump. I said she ain't had no power either. She could have said to Biden, listen, I know you're probably mad at me. You think that we sabotage you and all of that. But could you at least just give us a solid damn? At least that way, when we try to do it again in 2028, they'll remember that you freed a black woman. You pardoned her. Just can you please? She's probably like, lady, I don't know you. We ain't even really friends like that, Valerie says Biden done more damage over his years in government than anyone. Yeah, and he said before he got on the Air Force One, I've been in office 50 years. I really mean it. Debbie, how you doing? Says nothing wrong with weed. I said bought me a house, sweet dreams. Okay. CJ, how you doing? Yes, Harvey. He says, especially you, Harvey. The black man that got pulled over like this says, especially you, Harvey. I guess Harvey is the one that said he was going to, remove his dome off of the top of his shoulders. I saw the whole thing. I was like, that's crazy. It's like, oh, we got the wrong vehicle. No, we don't. You know, it's the wrong license plate. And when the guy went and looked, he was like, oh. And then they tried to, schmooze it over with him. Listen, we're going to let you go. And the brother was like, nah. Don't try that mess on me. You ain't going to try to smooth this over with me. And the guy says, I know it's our fault. Here's our card. He was like, you better believe it. Brother Reggie says, I heard DL was crashing out on Nelly. DL just need to go sit down somewhere and contemplate the meaning of his gray facial hair and what it is doing in life. That's what he needs to do. He's got a lot more things to be worried about than what Nelly is doing. Like I said, he tried it with Janet Jackson in the end. You know what? In the words of Kamala, I want to thank DL for talking about Janet Jackson because that pissed off a lot of people. It really did. A lot of people were mad, like, how you going to go after Janet? She didn't know the lady was black. And now y'all mad? I mean, he talked about that woman so bad where a lot of us organized like, oh, hell to the no. What you're not going to do is talk about Miss Jackson. No, you won't. So I think that had a lot to do with Kamala losing too. So ain't nobody thinking about DL. Now, Emmett, how you doing? Says, start doing business with black businesses. Yes. That's what we need to start worrying about. Snoop, if he never talked to another black person again, he'll never need another dime. You know what I mean? So we need to figure out the money. Snoop was at the crypto ball where they talking about money. Now, I know he said they let a real crip at the crypto ball. Okay, whatever. But that's where the money resides, right? And people mad that he went. Hell, we should have all wished we got an invitation to that so we can rub some elbows like, okay, what's the next crypto that's going to blow up? But we worried about somebody going to a damn ball and spinning some records. This can't be real life. It really cannot be, Leonora, how you doing? Says they didn't troll 50. Well, yeah, 50, he didn't go, I don't think, did he? But he did put up a picture with Trump after he won. I think they know 50 a little, he ain't wrapped too tight, I seen him say some horrible things about people. So they know better. Sometimes you got to be a little off your rocker and let people know I am the one. Okay. Tell her like this, says, well, it's a new day and we're not going for the okie doke anymore. Yeah, I hope not. Right. Donovan says they do not want to pay Americans $30 an hour plus benefits. If you could get people to work for $7, what would you do? Yeah. They're like, come this way. Come. Yes. How was the Darien Gap? Was it dangerous? Okay, great. We're glad that you made it over here to the border. Go this way, get a phone. You're going to get all the benefits you need. Make sure you fill out an application to Taco Bell. So there you have it. Teresa says, but sis, has anybody put out marching orders yet? Do we have a playbook for our people? Does anybody else have an exit strategy? Because I refuse to go down with the Titanic. We have been fighting for this sinking ship called the U.S., and that's the problem. We've been fighting for the U.S., and we ain't been fighting for us. Just marinate on that for just 3 seconds. We've been fighting for the U.S., but we ain't been fighting for us. But yes, I'm glad that you asked. There's several blueprints. One of them you can find here. You want to order that? You can go to NOI.org. You have a bookstore. I even think you can get it on Amazon. There's a blueprint in here. In the back of the Final Call newspaper, every edition. What I do with it? This is a list of asks that are on here. Toward the back of the paper. It's there in every edition. Okay. Marcus Garvey. He had a whole lot of plans with the UNIA, right? His mantra was up your mighty nation, accomplish what you will. He says, let's be self-sufficient. Let's get our businesses going. Let's do A, B, C, and D. Dr. Claude Anderson, he has a plan. So as I've said a lot, and I'm going to keep saying it, we have the blueprint. We just don't want to follow one of them. And honestly, all of the blueprints are kind of the same. There's not a lot of deviation. And if you really want to get gangster, Ice Cube had the contract with Black America, and he consulted with a lot of Black economists. and they're all the same. So it's like, which one do we want to follow? See? And I'm not saying this about you, but a lot of people saying, we don't have it. What's the plan? What's the black agenda? Then you haven't been paying attention. And if you really want to just get orange with it, Trump had one, the platinum plan. Now, I ain't saying it's great, but he did have one. So there's stuff out there. We just got to get together on one page and say, bet, here's the ball. Let's run with it. So Valerie says all presidents give to corporate America. Biden open border to give cheap labor. Obama gave to banks and auto, and Republicans give tax cuts. Yeah. Trump also talked about the external revenue service, where the Americans, he says, are not going to be paying internal revenue. So basically, we're not going to be paying federal taxes, which I would love if that happens. I guess it all remains to be seen. 48 TCO says the inauguration was hilarious. It was. He says, I was looking at body language and the facial expression. Trump's digs were everything. They were so uncomfortable. Yeah, the whole thing was funny. Even Trump, when he was reading the teleprompters. And on the federal level, we're only going to recognize 2 genders. Brother Reggie says, after Kamala lost the election, she wasn't man enough to greet all of her supporters at Howard. Yeah, she left them in the cold. The Star Child says, I think the cop's name was on his shirt. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, he wasn't having it. Double A, how you doing? Says the Dems will go back to the same playbook in 2028 thinking we forgot. I'm telling you right now, they're not going to be successful because they're little minions, the 92% and all these other people running around here trolling people. You pissing people off. And you're reminding, I know that's kind of an oxymoron or whatever it is, but you're reminding people of why they didn't want to vote for the Democrats in the first place, because of people like y'all, blue bullies, blue MAGA, running around, harassing people, bullying people because they use their democracy that y'all ran around hollering and screaming over, and you're bullying people and you're reminding people, you know what? That's why I didn't vote for her. That now I remember, and I'm not going to do it in 2028 because I'm sick of y'all. As I said, there's a lot of reasons that I didn't vote for Kamala. One, I didn't like stuff that she did to people in California. And 2, it was a protest vote, not necessarily to her, but to her homies that ran around bullying and messing with people because they think they had the juice. Because you let Megan Thee Stallion twerk for you, you thought you had the juice. Psych. Matthew, how you doing? Says, with Democrats as friends, who need enemy? You ain't lying. They vicious. They vicious. My God, they vicious. I mean, they just a dog with a bark. No, not really any bite. 48 TCO says, but no lie, that room was white as hell. Even in the overflow room, I seen one Negro. I seen like 10. CJ says they need to be upset about that, but nope. And Sherry says, I'm so sick of Jennifer Lewis and her, he says, ugly ass. D.L. Hewley, yeah, I said it. I used to like Jennifer. I think he said it. I have never liked D.L. I can remember when he did not like Kamala Harris. Now all of a sudden, she's his homegirl. Now all of a sudden, his homegirl laced his palms with some money. That's what happened was. Gregory, how you doing? He said, yes, indeed. Sister Raven said, Demetri, I read so many black posts on X and Facebook and was disturbed by so many of us not worried about Trump, but his racist zombies getting physical. Says, I'm from Don't Start None, Won't Be None group. Same. All right. Mackie, how you doing? Says, Biden did not pardon former, Congressman Jesse Jackson Jr. either. And I know they was asking one for him, but he kind of did some, But again, I think he should have got a pardon. Hell, you pardon everybody else. Yeah, like I said, you pardon the judges that lock kids away for money and they made millions of dollars. Yeah, Jesse Jackson, what he just did a little, I think it was campaign fund fraud or, misappropriation, just a little bit. He bought Michael Jackson's hat or glove or something and some paintings, just a little crime. All right, so let's see. Let me skip down a little bit. Tabby, how you doing? It says Powernomics, the economic plan to empower Black America by Dr. Claude Anderson. A plan. There you go. Ernest says crypto equals money, invest in AI. Yeah, but we run around mad at somebody because they went to a ball. My mom always told me not to use the word stupid, so I try to find another word. Silly. D. Anderson, he says, thank you for your message to the Black man reference. Yeah, I mean, it's there, for a while. Jamie Mills, how you doing? Says, wish you good energy, sister. Please tell me The days Donovan and you broadcast, I don't get my alerts. Thank you. We'll be here tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central Time, weather permitting, because it's supposed to snow like never before here in Houston. It's probably gonna be like an ice cube hit the ground and people gonna fall out, but it remains to be seen. Yes, indeed, Miss Sweets. Truth to power. Brother Raider says, gotta walk the doggy. All right, well, you stay cool out there in Japan. I gotta get back there one day. I really like Japan. Valerie says, stop voting blue. Yep, until they get some sense, right? Queen Adaya, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. S. Edgy, what's going on with you? Says two genders, Kamala and Biden, you stupid. Michelle, how you doing? Bakari, how you doing? Thank you, thank you. He says Jim Crow Joe. K, what? He says Jim Crow Joe been the biggest racist, yeah, and the longest one in Congress, right? Star Child says, did we ever find out how much DL Ricky got from paid from Kamala? Nah, I don't know if it's ever been said that they got some, but I wouldn't imagine that they didn't. So don't quote me if they got some, but we know that their counterparts like Roland and them, yeah, they sure got a bag as fat as a rat. And I didn't mean that to be disrespectful. I meant that like, symbolically speaking. Queen of Dice says the maturity level is low to none. Yep. Michelle says no one cares about DL is talking about at all. 48 TCO says if Joe can let his crackhead son out, let my cousin free. Free Juju. Is that what y'all call him? Okay. Yeah. So nevertheless, I'm about to get out of here. I did an hour. I was surprised that I did an hour. But yeah, so we're gonna be back here, Donovan and I, tomorrow talking about the inauguration, because still kind of it's going on. The ball and stuff is tonight. Not that I watch any of that, but it remains to be seen. Yuka, but how you doing? Hope you're doing well. But yeah, just so in closing, 92%. If y'all see any of them sisters around, tell them you ain't got no juice. You ain't got no power. You ain't got no backbone. You're not the backbone of anything. You can't be the backbone of the Democratic Party until you're the backbone of your own community. And your community is in shambles, sis. Your community is in shambles. You're going after Snoop, going after Shantae man, and you don't know where your man is. You can't tell your man what to do, but yet you on the internet telling Snoop what to do. You're telling Nelly what to do. Ashanti got that all on the wraps. Shanti don't need you to tell her man what to do. You run around calling yourself the backbone. I'm just not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna show up. Show up for what? You've only your claim to fame is showing up for the Democrats so they can get stuff for everybody else. You ain't got no fame to claim no more. Show up for your own people. You want to impress us or anybody? Show up for your people. Like the white woman shows up for her people. Like the Asian woman shows up for her people. Black women, 92%. You patting yourself on your head for what? Because you're doing the bidding of the Democrats, and they sit in and open the border and let all those people in to replace you, and you patting yourself on the back and you mad? I see y'all talking about y'all, a lot of y'all roping black men into what Snoop did. But y'all forget that black men showed up right behind y'all more so than any other voter. But you ain't mad at nobody else. You mad at the black man. And you mad at another woman, man. You silly. You're silly. And until, like I said, and I'm going to keep saying this. Matter of fact, I think I might die on this hill. Till you get the Asians out of your nail shop that whoop your women's asses, your homegirl, probably like, girl, they been following me around and stuff. But I'm going to go back because I got an appointment in 2 weeks to get my nails done. You won't stay out of their beauty supplies after they whooping you with broomsticks and stuff. But yet you got so much power. Where? Where is the power? See, I was going to say something gross and dirty, but my daddy probably watching, so I ain't going to say it. But where's your power, sis? You know what the real power is? Is you coming back to the black community, stop all that foolishness, stop all that divisiveness, fighting with people on the internet and everywhere else, and say, all right, we are the mother of civilization. We know that, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, the nation can rise no higher than this woman. And since our women are out there strolling and twerking for a party that mean them no earthly good. And listen, I don't need to talk about the Republicans because they never pretended that they did, right? But bring yourself home. And a great example, and this is why I keep this background up. That was a good black woman right there. Y'all see all those people? It's hard to see because the picture's very old and blown up. Those are all black people. It was black men and black women. And a black woman came home. A black woman didn't think her worth was continuing to wash white people's laundry, white people's socks and drawers. She said, you know what? My hands are cracked and bleeding. I don't want to do this. I'm starving. My child is starving. I need to figure out something to do. So she figured out what she figured, hairline and all that. She was the first to do the multi-level marketing that these white people done ripped off and won't give her credit for. And she made sure that her people ate too. She didn't run off and it was trolling the lady up the street or the man around the corner. She says, listen, we got stuff to do. She listened. She was like, yeah, let's get this thing going. She was practicing group economics and she built a fortune, believe it or not, that's still around to this day. Okay. So black woman, that's what we are capable of. But the foolishness y'all got going on now is straight up embarrassing. And I don't care what y'all say. I'm a black woman. I've been there for 53 years. Ain't nobody going to be able to speak about a black woman like me because I am one. Hello. Okay. I'm a black woman all day long. I'm never going to fake the funk. So I can say what I'm going to say. So as I said, stop the foolishness. Get offline. Go figure out what your babies is doing, because while y'all was trolling Snoop online, where was your kids at? Where were your children? So there's a whole lot of other things that y'all could be doing. That's all I'm going to say about that. So anyway, I hope that didn't hurt too bad. If it did, you'll be all right. Anyway, I'm going to see y'all tomorrow. Love and appreciate every last one of y'all. Peace. And y'all stay warm out there because it's supposed to be cold, especially if you're in Houston.